Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Yours to Discover. We're your hosts. I'm Sam Rosenthal.
And I'm Natalie Mancini. We're in a beautiful city this week, just off the shores of Lake Ontario, the St. Lawrence River, and the Rideau Canal.
Oh, near the Thousand Islands. And let me tell you, there's a lot to do here. This city has a lot of historical places, namely a famous penitentiary, and a lot of great local eateries. Now, we're going to check out some of these places for you and let you know what it's like to live, work, and play here.
Halfway between Toronto and Ottawa, and home to Canada's first capital.
Yeah, and the home of Canada's first Prime Minister.
Join us as we explore the city of
Kingston!
Woo!
We made it. We're here at Fort Henry. Natalie and I are pumped. And we're here with the Director of Marketing, Brian Mercer. Brian, thanks for having us today.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Welcome, both of you.
Welcome,
Natalie.
This is an amazing place. Tell us a little bit about Fort Henry. And if I was coming here in the summer, what would I do here with the family?
Well, you know, it's one of the largest heritage attractions in Eastern Ontario.
Absolutely.
So we dress folks in period uniform,
Right.
just tunic and hat, and
Yeah.
we put them through their paces. We get them to march with the Fort Henry Guard.
Right.
We take them on tours and show them what civilian and military life would have been like in the 1860s.
I think I'll take the civilian life versus the military.
You
life
might
as a
not,
choice.
Sam, once you see what that's all about.
Okay, fantastic.
Anyway, it's a real fun place. I mean, it's really a citadel that's brought to life by a variety of college and university students that are here from the long weekend in May until the end of September. Yeah. And it's a reenactment of music, drill, and artillery practices of the 1860s. So we've got lots of museums and exhibits, lots of daily programs. There's one that you get paid for the work you've done, and you have to stand in a parade line and get berated about what little you did to earn the little money we pay you. But there's programs like that. So
Now, I can't imagine that life in 1860s, well, it wasn't exactly easy. I mean, you know, these people must have really been the true pioneers of our country. I mean, what was a typical day for someone here?
Well, then? You know, really, it was about being on watch. You know, we were built to defend the terminus of the Kingston Harbor, and there was a lot of drill and practicing going on in preparation for a potential outbreak of war. The menu was really varied: stew and bread. You know, if you were lucky.
Right.
There was always beer and rations to that end.
Right.
People would wander down into the local tavern downtown and have a couple of pops and come back up and get heck for doing that, of course. But no, it wasn't thrilling. But it was a pretty basic life, but an interesting one when it's told by our student interpreters.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how many visitors can you expect during the course of the summer?
We attract on an average about 165,000 visitors a year, and a lot of them are for the GTA area and West. We do have about 20% from the US and the rest from Europe. And primarily this past year, we received a lot of visitations from Germans and Asians.
Wow.
And I think that was partly due to the fact that last year, Fort Henry, along with the Rideau Canal, was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now that's a huge deal for us in Ontario. We're the only site designated to that end. We're in the company with Stonehenge, you know, the Great Pyramids. So it's a great designation to have, and it really sparks a lot of interest for people around the world to come and see what we're all about.
Now, just so our viewers know, when exactly are the dates that you guys are open here?
We open on the Saturday of the long weekend in May, and our program runs straight through until the end of September. And then after that, we shift down. All the students primarily go back to school, and we have a self-guided program where you can come in for $5 and tour around. You get a map, and you can go through the museum and exhibit rooms and freeze.
That's
Yes,
great.
exactly. Now, I understand, is there any... Well, is this place haunted? Let me just come out and say that, because I know some forts and sites are really, they're touched by spirits past. Any rumors of that here, Brian?
What's that over your? Oh, no. Yeah. Actually, you know, I've never seen anything. I've never experienced anything myself, but yes, it is. We've had a lot of sightings. We've had people that actually do haunted walk tours here that have actually experienced and seen apparitions. They've had doors slammed behind them. They've had locks rattle on the display cases. Yeah, I'd have to say it is. One of the main stories was a guy by the name of Niels von Schultz, who led the Battle of the Windmill in Prescott, was captured by the Fort Henry Guard and brought to Kingston. and he was imprisoned here until he was waiting to go on trial, defended by then upstart lawyer Sir John A. Macdonald, who lost the case. Then later became Prime Minister. How does that happen? But anyway, he was actually hung in the parking lot area, which is now the parking lot area of the fort. And people say that they see him wandering around.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Well, I don't know about you, Natalie, but I am brave enough to go down and check out different areas of the fort. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go down. We're going to check some stuff out. So stay with us. Let's check it out.
Let's go.
Okay, let's do it. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's here, Sam.
Yeah, I'm
We're
pretty
doing
sure.
a show.
A receiving center for fleeing refugees during the American Revolution, it became the primary community of southeastern Upper Canada.
The French settled on a traditional First Nation site in 1673 and established Fort Frontenac. The fort was captured and destroyed during the end of the 7 Years' War in 1758.
Natalie, I don't think soldiers really winked.
But I thought it looked cute. I'm wearing a hat.
I don't think that's really cute at all.
I thought it was
Oh man, if we have to do push-ups because of that, you're in trouble.
Ontario, it's
But
here.
I'm
Look,
telling
the
you, it's where
show is
Mongolia used to
about
be.
the show. Ontario, it's here,
my
right
God,
here.
I'm outta here.
You're impossible. I can't do this anymore.
We're standing in the Garrison Bakery. This is where the chefs at the Garrison would have prepared bread for the soldiers and their rations.
Okay, great. I'm gonna pass that to Natalie. Let's go,
Ah,
Natalie.
thanks. Great.
Let's
Okay,
go.
let's
It's
go
time to
sit.
make some
Yeah,
pizza.
yeah,
I'm
let's
hungry.
make some
Come on,
pizza.
come on.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go. This is one heck of a pizza oven. It goes on forever. Woo! Come on, baby. Stoke the fire. You got any flame on you?
I got nothing. No.
I think we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is taking a really long time. What am I doing with this anyway?
Do they even wear this to cook bread?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, when we come back, hopefully we'll have this fire going for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This isn't happening now. Okay, good. All right. It's that time of year again. That's right, it's holiday time. Where does the time go? Well, you know what? If you enjoy buying gifts during this time of year, a thrill for you, terrific. But you know what? For the rest of us, it's a gut-wrenching, soul-sucking experience that makes my nerves just ill just thinking about it. Anyway, maybe we're gonna have some good luck today because we're here at Sultan's Bazaar. I hear there's a lot of amazing, unique items in here, and I'm hoping we're gonna come out with some good stuff. So let's go in and check it out, okay? All right, come on. Look at that. All of a sudden, we're here at Sultan's Bazaar with Allison. Allison, thanks so much for having us today.
You're very welcome.
So tell us what makes Sultan's Bazaar so unique.
We specialize in handmade handicrafts, which is what makes it unique. Our niche is one of a kind. We never have two items, or we call them treasures, the same, and specialize in a wide range of inventory, ranging from skirts, purses, scarves, home decor, and accessories.
Okay, but what can you tell me about some of the jewelry here?
Well, actually, this jewelry here we have taken on from a local artisan, and something that we found easy to incorporate with the one-of-a-kind pieces from the Middle East is helping out local artisans to get their face and items out into the market here, so we can be the venue, and that is something that's important to us because we're importing. We like to do something for the local community too.
Okay, well that's great. Well, you know what? Just before I go, maybe if you don't mind, I'll take that.
I thought you might.
Yeah, and that's perfect. And you know what? Now let's just see how our co-host did. Maybe she found one or two things that she'd like. So
Okay.
We'll just go to the cash.
Okay.
Great. Thanks. Allison, thank you so much for taking the time with us today. You have an amazing store.
Thank you very much.
And I really appreciate you, letting me walk away with such a beautiful item. Maybe Natalie found one or two things that she might like to walk away with as well.
Look what I found.
How'd you do?
I will take these, please, and these wooden balls.
They're beautiful.
Are you impressed? He's paying, by the way. He's gonna pay for me.
JM's restaurant, and I have to tell you, they just fed the entire cast and crew, and man, it was fantastic. I'm very excited, and I just had a turkey sandwich, and you know what? I'm not even tired yet. I'm pumped up, and I am here where it all happens with the restaurant manager, Laura. Laura, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. First of all, thank you very much for taking care of the cast and crew.
No problem at all.
It's just fantastic. Now tell me, what is JM's known for?
Mainly for our buffets.
Okay.
We do a prime rib buffet on Saturday night, which a lot of people come out to.
Okay.
Delicious.
And now I know that there have been a lot of great buffets in Vegas. That's what they're known for. And you guys are known for the buffet too. So people are coming for the prime rib. Is that right?
Absolutely.
And what else are we going to find on that buffet?
There'll be seafood, chicken, potatoes, vegetables, desserts.
Okay. And do you have breakfast buffets as well, lunch? Or
We do breakfast buffets on the weekend and then sometimes through the week. Lunch buffet is kind of a hit or miss thing.
Okay. Now I noticed you guys were really busy while we were eating. It takes a pretty organized group of people to feed a horde that comes into the restaurant. I see the guys back here. It looks like they're working hard. I'm really kind of excited about getting my hands on a nice, thick, tender piece of meat, and I'd love a have-atter with seasoning. Will you let me do that back here?
Well, give it a shot. See what you can do.
Ooh, I like a challenge. All right, you ready? We're gonna go. Get the pens ready. There may be some good cooking tips here. Chef Rob is gonna show us how it's done. So let's go back and let's figure it out, okay? Come on. Okay, are you ready for a challenge? Do you have those pens? Are you ready to go? Because I don't know about you, but I've always wanted to get my hands on a fabulous piece of meat. And here are the boys, and they're gonna tell us how it's done. Gents, introduce yourself.
I'm Joe.
Kevin?
I'm Chef Rob.
Okay, Chef, what do we got here? What are we doing today?
We have here one of our famous dishes. It's our prime rib. We're known in Kingston for our prime rib, the best prime rib in town.
Okay.
So therefore, we're going to show you how to season one up, cook one off, and then we'll show you the buffet afterwards.
Okay, now that's great.
Gentlemen, Chef Kevin will take you through the ropes here.
Okay.
First, we take our mirepoix, which consists of celery, onions, and carrots, and we will gently place it into our pan like so.
Okay, now can our viewers at home, can we buy a piece of meat like that? I mean that's a pretty big piece of meat.
Sure,
just
you
walk
can.
into
You
the
go to
butcher-
your,
Just go to your
local
butcher.
butcher, and away you go from
Okay,
there.
what's the cut? What are we asking for when we go to the butcher?
That's called a tuxedo rib.
Tuxedo rib.
Yeah, it's a prime rib without the bones.
Okay,
What
without the
they'll
bow
do-
tie.
Yeah, and when
Okay.
they'll put the fat cap back on and line it for you, and all you have to do is just season it and throw it in the oven. And
Okay,
Away you go.
now I'm sorry, I'm really ignorant about you say seasoning. What do we got here? What's the seasoning? What do we put
we
on
have
it?
here just the basic salt and pepper. We use a kosher salt, a coarse ground salt, like a sea salt, and then we fresh ground pepper. We just sprinkle that over top,
Like so.
and you just rifle it right in the oven.
Okay, look at this. Now this beautiful, fantastic piece of meat. How long, what's the cooking time on this baby?
At one this size for ourselves usually takes about anywhere from 3.5 to 4 hours on a slow cook. We throw it in around 450 for half an hour, and then we'll finish her off after that for probably another 3 hours at about 350, 300, depending on the size of the meat.
Okay, and a question I've always wanted to ask, what is this like netting that goes around the meat? The meat isn't going anywhere. Why have they trapped it? What's going
Well,
on?
they
Why is
try
that
to,
netting?
to seal in the juices.
Oh, is that right?
Because
eh?
to understand a prime rib, there's a solid piece of fat that goes through the center of it.
Okay.
But to give it more tenderness and more juiciness, they put a nice cap of fat on top.
Right.
Just so all the seasonings and the herbs can just seep right into the meat.
Oh my God.
Just to give it that, the king of all kings right there.
Are you not getting hungry? Is this not unbelievable? I'm starving. This is fantastic. All right, so this is a pretty serious roasting pan, obviously. Now, for our viewers at home, does the pan have to be that deep? Do you know what I mean? They can't put on like
it
a
doesn't have
flat.
to. No, it should be no less than an inch, and probably the highest is probably this one's about 3 inches.
Okay.
Because you do want to retain some of the drippings and stuff to make a nice jus.
Ooh, my goodness.
So if Kevin would love to,
Would you like to
rifle
fire
that
this into the oven?
Kevin, let's do it, baby. Let's put, put
Okay,
it in
you
the
want
oven.
to This is a pretty big piece of meat here. I need 2 people.
Okay. Whew, I'll tell you something. Time flies when you're having fun. I have been eating here for 3 hours. I'm absolutely stuffed. I've had some of this beautiful chicken. Chef, what is this, by the way? What are we looking at here?
You're looking at our chicken for tonight's banquet. It's called a chicken Asiago.
Ooh.
Stuffed with artichokes, goat cheese, and spinach.
Delicious. But we're not here for the chicken. Show me the beef is what I say. Chef, what do we got? Let's see it. Let's see this beauty.
Here we go.
Oh, mama. Come to papa. There we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. If I could put my head on here and fall asleep on this piece of meat every night, I would. It smells that good. It's unbelievable. Guys, I just want to say thank you again for putting this together. This is fantastic. You're going to be standing out. Do you actually go out there and carve the stuff now? When you
Yes, we go out there and we have a chef that goes out there and carves it in front of everybody.
Okay, and if we're talking about a piece that's well done, you start on the outside,
On the
obviously.
outside, work your way in. Once you
Right.
get to the center, you're looking at medium rare.
Okay, and let me ask you another thing, guys. Now, I know for like when you're cooking a turkey and it has to be at a certain temperature, for folks at home who don't have the expertise that you do, tell me, how do we know if this is done?
Stick your, you get a meat thermometer.
Yeah.
And you roughly stick it right into the center of the prime rib, and then it should read about 135.
135, okay. And just jumping back to the turkey, because I'm never really quite sure, what should be
165 or higher.
165 or higher? Well, okay, that's pretty good. So now you've got all the temperatures. You had that pen ready, right? You wrote all that down? Okay, so we've prepared, well, chefs have prepared this beautiful, beautiful piece of meat. But now, let's see where this goes. Let's go up to where the action is. Let's see the buffet. Show me the money, chef. Come on, let's go. Here we go, everybody. It's unbelievable. You don't understand what it takes to get a restaurant happening. There are people, there are dishwashers, there are busboys, there are mechanics. There are so many things that happen in a restaurant. It's unbelievable. We better keep up with the chef. Let me tell you something. I used to cater, and it is not easy. I have the utmost respect for these guys. The hours they put in, the training that they have. Here we are at the buffet. Come out, okay?
That one's still down.
Okay. So now here we are, and we're going to have Chef Rob basically take us through what's on the buffet. Chef?
So this is our Saturday night prime rib buffet, and it features assorted salads, assorted pickled items. We have our greens, our dressings, and then we have over here our seafood section. We have our glazed salmon, shrimp, pilani shrimp, your usual. We'll have a chowder out later, and then going through all the hide items, you'll have the potatoes, vegetables, sauce, so forth and so on. And then the king of the hour will be out soon. The beef that you saw us cook off will be coming out soon. And then we have our dessert section to top it all off after at the end here.
That's fantastic. Now, do you ever have any special requests from groups? In other words, do you book like a party of 60, 70 people, Christmas parties, that sort of thing? They book it off
we
for
do
you?
all the occasions. And any group that needs to book or bigger reservations, we'll take care of either in our private rooms. This is our fully private room, and then there's our semi-private room at the other end of the building.
Now, what about people who have certain dietary requests?
We have no issues. We've taken care of people who have the gluten-free diets, the dairy diets, celiac diets, all those diets. We'll take care of their needs. They pretty much tell us what they can eat, and then we'll accommodate them to the best of our abilities.
That's fantastic. Now, is there a website or a place to go if people want to find out more information about what you guys do here?
The hotel website
Yeah.
will have all the information from all our buffets, through the restaurant, through our banquet facilities, through all the other functions that we do through the year, through charities and also so forth and so on.
Okay, that's great. Now, Rob, last question. First of all, thank you for your time again. It's been great.
Our pleasure.
You guys do a bang-up job here. I noticed, though, that all you guys are wearing white and I'm wearing black. What's that about?
Black is the king. You are the king of the kitchen. You are the show. That's why you're going to carve the prime rib that comes out right now.
I don't know. It's just good to be me.
That is the honor of the ambassador.
Well, thank you, Rob. It's been an
Thank you
absolute
very
pleasure.
much.
We look
Thank
forward
you
to
very
coming
much.
back and dining again.
Anytime.
Okay.
You know where to come.
Excellent. Let's
Cheers.
eat. Natalie, you know what? Like, I'm a real trooper, and I'm willing to try anything, but I have to tell you, this is not really comfortable.
I'm just straight up not comfortable at all.
But I don't understand because, you know, the two of us aren't exactly the tallest people in the world. And I know, you know, over the ages, people have gotten, you know, healthier and
Bigger
taller
and
and stronger.
stronger.
But these are like sort of Lilliput beds. I mean, that soldiers must have been so tiny.
I wouldn't have signed up for this.
Are you sure this is...
And I'm rolling.
Honestly, you two will never make it as soldiers.
Oh, God, this was humiliating.
My hat's gonna fall off.
Okay. Is it keeping you warm at least?
No.
Okay. Man.
It's you know it's actually colder down there.
Okay, Natalie,
What's the problem? Let's go.
I'm not going down there. I don't like small spaces.
Come on, take my hand. Come on.
This is embarrassing.
Come on, take my hand, Sam. Let's go. Here we go. Let's go. Watch your head.
Oh my God!
It's a little bit like a dungeon in here.
Yeah, it's not a little bit like a dungeon. It is a
Are you
dungeon.
claustrophobic?
No.
Are you okay?
I'm not
Sam.
claustrophobic at all.
Sam,
I'm
are you
most
okay?
comfortable in small, tight
Sam,
spaces.
look at me, Sam.
What?
Are you okay?
I'm fine. If you could just...
Should I be concerned?
No, if you can just do the segment so we can get out of here, that'd be great. Perfect.
Fine. But did you know, Sam, that Kingston was the base for the Lake Ontario Division of the Great Lakes British Naval Fleet during the War of 1812? The War of 1812, Sam, the War of 1812, that was between whom?
Two people who didn't like each other.
No, it was between the Americans and the British Empire.
Okay.
What do you know about the fort?
I can tell you that basically after the war, Britain built this fort, Fort Henry, and because of its amazing and strategic position, which is located right at the Rideau Canal. And that's why Kingston became such a vital, important port, because again, it was at the base of the canal.
Take it easy, Sam.
I'm not feeling really
Take it easy, Sam.
good.
Sam, you can't go
I'm
anywhere.
just gonna step
Sam,
outside.
you can't bail on me. Sam, you can't go anywhere. You can't go anywhere.
It's really funny, Natalie, really enjoying
How's your
this.
claustrophobia,
Yeah,
Sam?
it's absolutely fantastic.
I don't remember asking.
Oh my God. Well, you know what, everybody? I think that's all the time we have here today at Fort Henry. But I have to say, this is a really amazing place. There's so much history here. It's a great place to bring the kids, the family. Come check it out. It's great.
Ah, yes, the Kingston Penitentiary, or as it's called locally, KP, or the Kingston Pen, is a maximum security prison located between King Street West and Lake Ontario. This prison is considered the dumping ground for Canada's worst inmates. Almost all are protective custody inmates who cannot function or live in other institutions due to their crimes. This institution is one of the most violent, if not the most violent, in Canada, with frequent assaults on staff and inmates. The prison was originally constructed in 1833 to 1834 and officially opened on June 1st, 1835 as the Provincial Penitentiary of the Province of Upper Canada. It is one of the oldest prisons in continuous use in the world and is often referred to as Alcatraz North. The Kingston Penitentiary is one of the 9 prisons in the Kingston area. The most famous inmate of our generation must be Paul Bernardo. Bernardo, the notorious rapist and murderer, has been serving an indefinite life sentence at the prison's maximum security unit since 1995. It's
time to get down and dirty, because if you want to know about the city that you're in, you go to the people because they know. Now we're here with Dennis. Dennis, how you doing today?
Pretty good, thanks.
Okay, fantastic. Now Dennis, you said you've been here for how long?
42 years.
Okay, we're going to put that to the test. Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Natalie, fire away. Here we go.
True or false? Don Cherry was born in Kingston, Ontario.
Yes.
True or false?
True.
Ron McLean was also born in Kingston.
Don't know.
True or false?
False.
You are correct. True or false? Doug Gilmore was born in Kingston.
Yes, true.
True or false? Doug Gilmore just became the head coach of Kingston Frontenacs.
Yes, it did.
True or false? Kingston has a population of 200,000.
False.
How many?
117,000.
Woohoo!
True or false? Kingston is Canada's 9th largest city.
Could likely be, I'd say true.
False!
Oh.
Ah.
Okay.
And finally, the motto of Kingston is history and blank thrive here. What is the blank?
History and I don't know. I'm just drawing a
Okay,
blank.
is it A, innovation, B, engineering, or C, culture?
I'd say culture.
It is innovation.
Oh.
But you know what, Dennis? You did very, very good. Not bad. Thanks for appearing on our first segment of Streeters.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day.
Thanks very much.
So here we are at the Marine Museum of the Great Lakes, the only one left in Canada. There's about 20 still in the States, but this is the only one left in Ontario. And to our luck, it happens to be in Kingston. So let's go check it out. So we're here with Anne, the executive director of the museum, and Anne is going to walk us through 3 different, artifacts of the museum. Why don't you tell us what we are standing in front of right now?
This is called the Cataraqui Prow. A lot of people don't realize that the history of Kingston started with shipbuilding back in the 1700s with the French. And when this was first discovered close to the site of what's the Royal Military College today here in Kingston, it was initially thought that it was one of the first French ships to be built here. But since that time, archaeology as a science has progressed a little bit, and we know a little bit more about it and suspect it's probably 1812 vintage.
And where was this found?
Near where Royal Military College is today here in Kingston. on the
And
water.
how big, I guess this is a very small piece of what it once was, or how big are we talking?
Yeah, it's the prow, so you're looking at sort of the pointy end of the ship for the landlubbers in the audience. Yeah.
And how big was the original piece?
I think there's probably some good drawings over here to give you a little idea of scale. It's I think most people really don't understand the size of the ships at the time. Were much smaller than we expect today. A warship of the time was much smaller.
Wow,
Okay.
good to know. Let's move on to the second artifact.
Sure.
Okay, and I am so curious. Please tell me what it is, what we're standing in front of.
This is a hard hat diving suit, hence the copper. Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. It's early underwater exploration and salvage. Because Kingston was such a center for shipbuilding, it was also a center for salvage. So any underwater repairs had to be affected by divers wearing this kind of equipment. But it really speaks to the fact that this particular museum was founded by divers. Kingston is a center of a huge wealth of underwater resources. There's another entire museum out there of about 450 shipwrecks. So that means that when scuba diving really started to gain in popularity as a sport in the 50s, divers were coming up with objects from the wrecks, which we don't do anymore, but they decided to found a museum as a place to put these things they were finding. Okay, this is a pressurized suit. So instead of just having, if you think of the regular scuba gear where you wear the tanks on your back,
Yes.
the suit itself was filled with air.
Okay.
So behind you, your buddy on the shore would turn the wheels.
This thing right here.
And that actually would generate the oxygen which would be pumped down to you in your suit.
So someone would have to be continuously turning
That's
this
correct.
wheel.
That's
And
right.
if my friend were to stop, I would stop breathing.
That's right.
Wow, okay, that's a pretty serious job. So this runs, and I guess it pumps oxygen, and then that fills in the suit with air.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
And the diver wore very heavy lead-lined boots so that he'd go down to the bottom of the water as well.
May I pick one of
You
these
can't-
up?
You can't see that below. No, this is just the kind of things that we would find. It's just a typical rope pulley that would have been off of one of the sailing vessels. If you take a look at some of the models around or the paintings, you'll see that there are probably hundreds of these on the average sailing
Well, I
vessel.
saw a very nice painting. Why don't we go check it out
Sure.
right now? Let's go.
Okay.
And here we are, we're standing in front of the wreck of the Wabano, and please tell me a little bit about this painting. It looks amazing. Just whatever information you can give me, please let me know.
It's a very interesting work. It's certainly gets a lot of attention here at the museum. It was painted by a Canadian artist, an Ontario artist, around 1980, and it's really a story rather than an actual image of what actually occurred, because we know from historical record that there wasn't a second vessel involved, and there certainly weren't all of these characters that we see on the boat. The artist was an individual, he was a former art teacher and had trained professionally as an artist. However, he had a personal tragedy in his family, and what happened was he fell on hard times and he supported himself by painting pictures. This particular one was on a bar in Collingwood. It was on the wall of a bar in Collingwood. So he would pay for his accommodation and his drinks by painting. So that's what we have, and that's fairly typical of a maritime setting where you would have this kind of painting. So what he's done is put in a lot of characters and a lot of action for the sailors who were the patrons of this particular bar near the Collingwood shipyards. So it's a little bit away from the original story of the wreck of the Wabano, which was a great tragedy, but it also has some really interesting effects. You can see the effects of a number of different painterly styles here, but also the characters on board. So it's, I think for me, I love it because it really portrays the violence that happens in a storm, the chaos that's there.
Well, thank you very much, Anne. I think right now we're going to go check out the icebreaker outside.
Okay.
So here we are, we're on the icebreaker, and why don't you tell me a little bit about the icebreaker that we're on?
Well, it's the Alexander Henry. It was built in the late 50s, and it's a real testament to Canadian technology, shipbuilding technology of the time. It served pretty well its entire career on the Great Lakes, so that's why it's a particularly good fit for this particular museum. It's a light icebreaker, so it wasn't designed for Arctic ice, just for the kind of ice you'd have on the Great Lakes.
And how long has it been parked here right outside the museum for?
It's been here since 1985, and it's been operating as for tours for visitors to come on board and see a ship, but also as a bed and breakfast. It just operates over the summer months.
A bed and breakfast in a ship. That's a unique idea.
Yeah, it's
And-
kind of interesting.
And how much do the rooms go for during the summer months?
They vary from about 75 to about 105 for the captain's cabin. I'm going by memory, so.
And during what months is the
We're
icebreaker
open
open?
July and August.
July and August, and
Yeah.
that's it.
Since 1850, Cataraqui Cemetery has been recognized as a cemetery of great natural beauty. The large park-like setting is the final resting place of many prominent Canadians, including the poet Charles Sangster, Arctic explorer Thomas McLeod, and Dr. James Sampson, founder of Queen's University. However, the most prominent of all those resting at Cataraqui Cemetery would unquestionably be Sir John A. Canada's first Prime Minister, Sir John A. Macdonald, has always been ranked among the country's great political leaders. Born in Scotland and raised near Kingston, Macdonald was already a political veteran in 1864 when he played a key role in the making of the Canadian Confederation. He was the undisputed choice to be the first Prime Minister. Sir John A. held the office from July 1st, 1867 until 1873, and again from 1878 until his death in 1891. Macdonald said he intended to see the gristle of a nation harden into bone, and he believed a strong central government was essential to Canada. His national policy of tariff protection, westward expansion, and a railway to the Pacific helped lay the basis for a transcontinental nation. Sir John A. Macdonald died in Ottawa in 1891 and was buried here in Kingston's Cataraqui. Okay, it's down and dirty. Here we are. We're back on the streets. The street meat that we are. You ready? Because here we go. It's streeters, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Tim, Terry. Okay, why are you here in Kingston? What are you doing here?
We're trying to learn something at Queen's University.
Okay, we got a couple of Queen's students. All right, have you absorbed the culture yet of Kingston?
We're trying as hard as we can.
Little bit.
Well, let's find out. Ready? We're going to start with Tim, and we're going to fire the questions away. Natalie, take it away. Here we go.
True or false? Don Cherry was born in Kingston.
True.
False.
True. True or false? Ron McLean was also born in Kingston.
False.
False.
You guys are correct. True or false? Doug Gilmore was born in Kingston.
Well, true.
True.
True or false? Doug Gilmore just became the head coach of the Kingston Frontenacs.
True.
True.
You guys are correct. True or false? Kingston is Canada's 9th largest city.
False.
False.
You guys are also correct. Now fill in the blank. The motto of Kingston is history and blank thrive here. Is it A, innovation, B, engineering, or C, culture?
Culture.
Culture.
You guys are wrong. It's innovation.
Oh.
And finally, what is your major?
Law.
Mechanical engineering.
Right answer. Good job, guys. Thank
Fantastic.
you very much.
Thanks, guys. Well done.
Thank you.
We're back on the street. Here we are, and we've got some people who are, again, going to tell us a little bit about their knowledge of Kingston. So, hi, guys. Now, you from Kingston?
No.
Not from Kingston. Where are you from?
North of Toronto, Keswick.
Okay, Keswick, a fabulous place. Been there many times.
Beautiful.
Lovely. Okay, now we're just going to test our knowledge, well, really your knowledge, thank God, not mine, about what Kingston is like. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you prepped?
We're good.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Natalie's going to come in, and you're going to answer the first question. Take it away, Natalie.
Ready? True or false? Don Cherry was born in Kingston.
True or false, Matt?
False.
Do you have the right answer?
True.
It is correct. True or false? Doug Gilmore was also born in Kingston.
False.
It is true. True or false? Doug Gilmore is the head coach of the Kingston Frontenacs.
False.
It is true. True or false? Kingston is Canada's 9th largest city. What about you?
Pick one, Madison.
False.
You're right. The motto of Kingston is where history and blank thrive here. Is it A, innovation, B, history,
Or C, culture? B. C. Pick
Might as
A.
well pick A.
You're right, it is A. Well, that's great. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us in the street. I hope you guys can stay warm for the rest of the day.
Hi, Mom!
Thanks, guys.
The Frontenacs, which have also been known as the Kingston Canadians and the Kingston Raiders, are a junior ice hockey team in the Ontario Hockey League, based in Kingston at the K-Rock Centre. The origin of the name Frontenacs comes from Louis de Beau de Frontenac, governor of New France, whom established Fort Frontenac on the site of present-day Kingston. Most notable hockey players that have worn a Kingston jersey include Paul Coffey, Kirk Mueller, Mike Gillis, Sean Avery, Kay Grivet, and Chris Gratton. Paul Coffey is the only former member of the Kingston franchise to be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, getting this honor in 2004. He played 8 regular season games and 5 playoff games with the Kingston Canadians. From November 2008 to November 2011, Doug Gilmore was hired as the head coach of the team. Gilmore, a Kingston native, called this role a blessing in disguise as he was able to come home where his friends and family have resided his whole life. He currently sits as the team's GM. The Frontenacs sit last in the East Division and hold the league worst power play record. Go Frontenacs!
Natalie, I have to tell you something.
Tell me something, Sam.
I think I've fallen in love
With me?
with Kingston. Kingston rocks. What an amazing place. It's been an unbelievable day. I mean, where to begin? Oh, you know, how about Fort Henry? That's unbelievable.
How much fun did we have with Brian at Fort Henry?
I mean, what a piece of history, you know? I mean, just seeing that place and experiencing it, I mean, I can't wait till the summer comes so we can get back and enjoy the full experience.
Change experience for sure.
And then, of course, there was Sultan's Bazaar.
Allison was nice.
She, you know what, very nice, and I really will enjoy my hookah with the tobacco. It's a beautiful hookah smoking thing. Anyway,
Much
and
thanks to the museum.
the
museum was fun.
You know what, the museum was great, and of course, carving and learning all about roasts at JM's restaurant, and we want to thank them again for putting us up at the Ambassador Hotel, feeding us. What a great group of amazing people. Really incredible, right?
And just a big overall thank you to Kingston. What a great city, guys. I'm
Yeah.
so impressed with this little city between Toronto and Ottawa.
Yeah.
2 hours from Toronto, 2 hours from Ottawa.
It's
just
really
down the road.
fantastic. And you know, if you enjoyed anything that we highlighted here today, but you didn't have your pens ready, which I told you to do, don't worry about it, because you can go to the website at Yours to Discover, and we'll be happy to have all the information there for you. Natalie, I think, you know what, I think we need to do this again. I think we need to check out a lot of Ontario's great cities. What do you think?
I think we need to do it in the summertime.
Okay, the summer sounds
I'm
good.
cold still.
Okay, so let's go get a hot chocolate or something, okay?
Apple cider. Let's go get some apple cider.
Ooh, sounds good. Okay.
Let's go.
We're gonna get apple